I know some people who have completed GTA 5 and in the end, after finishing it, they say the game isn't that fun anymore. It starts to feel a bit dull. That's because during the regular GTA 5 story, outside of missions, a lot of things that appear in missions get removed. Many elements are only available during specific missions, and in today's video, I'm going to show you some mission exclusive details, including animations, vehicles, and other features that you probably didn't even notice. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing I find really interesting in GTA 5 is a detail I mentioned a long time ago. Maybe you've seen a video about it, or maybe not. In the mission deep inside you, we break into Solomon Richards' movie studio. Throughout the game, Michael gains access to this studio, and you can enter it multiple times. However, what makes this mission unique is something that doesn't appear at any other time: the actual filming of a movie. And I'm not talking about the JB700 car chase scene that we end up stealing. I mean, if you walk around the back of the studio as Franklin, you'll find a crew actively shooting a movie. This movie is actually The Meltdown, the same one that Michael stars in and that later gets released in the story. It's really crazy because, man, when you reach this part of the mission, you can actually see them filming with a green screen. And Solomon Richards himself even mentions in another mission that they're shooting everything using green screens. Then later in the game, after the mission Meltdown, you can actually watch the finished movie and you'll recognize the exact scene that was being filmed earlier. It's an insane detail from Rockstar, but honestly I think it's something that could have been present outside of missions as well. Like, I don't know, maybe they could have added 4 or 5 standard filming scenes happening in the studio to make the open world feel more alive. What do you guys think? Anyway, I think you get the idea. The second thing we can only see in specific missions, actually in just one specific mission, is a brutal death animation that doesn't exist in the normal gameplay. In GTA 5's open world, when you shoot an NPC, you might see some blood splatter here and there, but nothing too extreme. However, in the mission The Wrap-Up, when Steve Haynes finds out that Agent Sanchez betrayed him, he shoots him in the head, and man, it leaves a huge hole in his skull. It legit looks like half his brain spills out. This kind of gore doesn't exist anywhere else in the game. It's weird to think about why Rockstar decided to make it so brutal in the cutscene, but didn't include this level of detail in the rest of the game. Like, they could have just made it a regular headshot, but no, they really went all in for this scene, yet they completely removed this level of gore from normal gameplay. That's kind of a letdown. Now we're getting into something really eerie. This is something that anyone who has played Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably familiar with. Here's the deal. In Red Dead 2, I'll start with that since it's where this happens by default. Whenever you approach a locked door, and maybe even some windows, though I'm not completely sure, there's a specific animation for trying to open it. Whether you're playing as John or Arthur, they'll attempt to push or pull the door, showing that it's locked. When we play GTA 5 in normal free roam outside of missions, if we walk up to a locked door, the character just keeps walking against it, with no specific animation. However, in the mission Complications, which is one of the first missions in the game, we break into Michael's house through an open window upstairs. But here's something that almost nobody has noticed. GTA 5 actually has the same locked door animation from Red Dead 2. If you restart the mission Complications and walk up to any door of Michael's house, even the garage door, you'll see that Franklin has a specific animation for trying to enter, but the door is locked, including the garage. That's pretty crazy. I really think this should have been in the open world version of the game outside of missions. It would have made the world feel more interactive, but for some reason Rockstar decided to remove it. Who knows why? Another thing that is mission exclusive, though I won't dwell too much on it because it's kind of expected, is the fact that certain vehicles only appear during specific missions. For example, in the mission Daddy's Little Girl, there's a yacht that never shows up again anywhere in the game. In Minor Turbulence, you can fly that gigantic cargo plane, but it never spawns in free roam after that mission. And there are plenty of other cases like this, right? In The Big Score, option B, you can fly the helicopter that lifts train cars and use the tunnel boring machine to dig under the bank. In the mission Derailed, you can actually drive a train. I really think all these features and vehicles should have been available in free roam, not just locked behind missions. But Rockstar chose to keep them mission exclusive, which is kind of disappointing. Like, man, being able to drive a train would be awesome. Seeing yachts along the coast in GTA 5 would also be really cool, along with plenty of other things. Some of these details wouldn't make a huge difference, but I think they would add more life to the open world experience. And since they're already in the game files, why not just make them available? Another mission exclusive feature, this time limited to just 2 missions, is the city of North Yankton. This place is really cool, right? Rockstar has done similar things in other GTA games. For example, in GTA San Andreas, you could visit Liberty City during a part of a mission. There are a few other examples of this across different GTA games as well. And GTA 5 is no different. We have North Yankton, but it's only accessible during the prologue or in the mission Bury the Hatchet. It's actually possible to access it without mods, and there are videos here on the channel showing glitches that let you get there. But honestly, I think it would have been way cooler if Rockstar had made it available in free roam in some way. Another thing that many people don't notice is that city traffic is completely different during missions. For example, in missions like Franklin and Lamar, Father-Son, Marriage Counseling, and The Big Score, Subtle Approach, if you replay them multiple times, you'll start to see that a lot of things are scripted. In Franklin and Lamar, for instance, trucks will always appear at certain points to block your path. This seems to be done both to guide you in the right direction and also to make you crash if you're not careful. In Marriage Counseling Fraus, for example, the game is programmed to always spawn a van to block your way, ensuring that the tennis coach has a chance to escape. In the mission Father-Son, the truck carrying the yacht always crashes into another truck that has a car on top. And honestly, I don't even remember seeing other trucks carrying cars in normal free roam. But in this mission, that truck is scripted to be there. When it crashes, the car on top falls really close to you, making the moment feel even more intense. So yes, city traffic is different during missions. Not in all of them, but definitely in some. But I just wanted to point it out because a lot of people notice something feels off but aren't completely sure. So I'm confirming it. Just like we see differences in city traffic, there's also a huge difference in how the airport behaves in GTA 5. If you visit Los Santos International Airport in free roam, you might occasionally see a plane landing and very rarely one taking off. But during the mission Legal Trouble, the airport becomes way more active. You'll see tons of planes landing and taking off one after another really fast. And in this specific mission, cars actually react to the physics of the airplane engine. So, if a car drives behind a jet turbine, it gets blown away and launched far into the distance. Besides this different physics behavior, there's also something unique in this mission. In the far corner of the airport, there's a plane wreck, or rather, just a piece of a plane. From what I can tell, it looks like it's used for firefighter training since the area is already marked off for that purpose. But here's the interesting part. Only in this mission, that plane wreck is on fire and you can actually see firefighters actively training to put it out. Think this is the kind of thing that should be in the game outside of missions, appearing randomly in free roam. Like sometimes the firefighters could be training and other times the area could be empty. It would add more life to the world outside of missions and make the airport feel more dynamic. There are also scene changes that happen during missions. One of the most noticeable examples, at least for me, is the Oriental Theater during the mission The Meltdown. In this mission, Michael has to go to his movie premiere, and that's when things get crazy. When you arrive, you might expect the theater entrance to look normal like it does in free roam, but instead everything is different. There's a red carpet laid out, metal barricades separating the crowd from reporters, and a full Hollywood-style event setup. It's really crazy because this setup doesn't exist in the final game outside of this mission, and honestly, I kind of agree. It's fine for this to be mission exclusive, but it's still interesting to see how missions change the world compared to free roam. It would have been cool if other movie premieres happened randomly at the theater, even if they weren't part of missions, but at the same time, I don't think it would have made a huge difference to the game overall. And finally, the craziest thing I found out about all of this. I actually discovered this a long time ago, and I even mentioned it in a video about 20 police-related facts. It's something called police recognition during missions. Apparently, at some point, Rockstar had some kind of system in place that would have allowed you to play as a cop in GTA 5 without mods in a proper way. Here's why I say that. If you wear the police uniform that Michael gets after the mission I Fought the Law, in free roam, it's just another outfit. It doesn't change anything. NPCs don't react differently, and the police still see you as a normal civilian. But if you wear it during a mission where you interact directly with the police outside of being wanted, something weird happens. A good example is the mission Stingers, one of the prep missions for the Subtle Approach of The Big Score. In this mission, you have to steal a police van carrying spike strips that will be used in the final heist. If you decide to do this mission as Michael and wear the police uniform, the highway patrol outfit he gets from I Fought the Law, the cops in this specific mission will actually recognize you as a traffic officer. They'll even have a special dialogue for you saying something like, "Shouldn't you be out writing tickets?" And you can tell this isn't just random dialogue because if you do the mission wearing a different outfit, the cops will say something completely different. So I'm not sure if this police recognition was meant to be mission exclusive or if it was originally supposed to work in free roam as well. Maybe Rockstar intended for NPCs to recognize different outfits in the open world, but when they removed the feature, they forgot to take it out of this mission. It's really crazy to think about. Just like this crazy police recognition detail, which I'm pretty sure almost nobody knew about, there are tons of other hidden details you might have missed. You can check them out in the 50 police facts video. It's showing up right here next to the arrow. And man, that video is insane even though it's a bit older. Go take a look, I'm sure you'll love it because there are some really awesome police related secrets in GTA 5 that you probably never noticed. That's it guys, don't forget subscribe and like, take care, and bye.